Hello and welcome to this webinar about ReachOut. So in this webinar, I'll present what ReachOut is all about with a focus on efficient scenarios, which we'll describe during the demonstration following the slides. So what is ReachOut? ReachOut is a coordination and support action. So it's a project which is here to support other projects funded by Europe, but we also support SMEs and open source projects. So ReachOut was funded for 3 years, 2019, 20, and 2021, and will end at the end of this year. The coordinator of the project is Fraunhofer Focus, and the two other partners are OW2 and UShareSoft. Myself, I'm Alex Lefebvre from UShareSoft. So ReachOut, the context of ReachOut is that of delivery and value of R&D projects. So R&D projects usually they're good at delivering code, but users don't just want the code, they also want other product attributes, and they also want other things that make the market value of the results of that project. So this is what we call the delivery challenge. So ReachOut comes in the phase where the project has delivered a beta version and is now ready to have some form of external user acceptance testing of the results of this beta version. So this will be released to a short amount of time for a limited audience external to the project itself, and this is what we call a beta testing campaign. So beta testing campaigns have a number of benefits. So the most obvious one that people think about is that it generates quality, since the beta version will be tested by external users and there will be potentially bugs that will be identified and then fixed. But also another important aspect and benefit is that the beta testing campaign will help align different partners' expectations. So in other words, by deciding what you want external users to test, you will have to agree on what is the focus of this campaign. So this is especially important in the context of a funded R&D project where you have several partners who will need to decide what the campaign's all about. Of course, by getting feedback from beta testers, you will be able to identify further exploitation opportunities, which the beta testers will be able to report to you. And finally, and this is the point that I was mentioning earlier, by running the beta testing campaign, it forces you to add some other product attributes to your project, such as packaging, such as tutorials or documentation, making sure that the beta version is installable and usable, maybe some online or other user support, etc. So what we like to say is a beta testing campaign is an important milestone for a project, and if the project is ready to launch this beta testing campaign, then it has all what it takes to bring more value to the market, to engage with its users, with its partners, and develop its ecosystem. So this is why Europe funded ReachOut, so that the results of projects have a better chance to reach to the market. So what we have is we have a ReachOut team, which is dedicated to help you build and run the campaign successfully. During the duration of the ReachOut project, all the services we provide are free, and I'll detail them in a few seconds. So that includes the ReachOut methodology, tools and templates, support, and we've also in this last year we've also added gifts and prizes for beta testers, including monetary rewards and some animation around what we call the ReachOut test fest. So I'll come to that in a second. The ReachOut methodology, which you can find on the website, I'll show you during the demonstration, has been established to show all the different steps that you need to go through when you run a beta testing campaign. So there's some steps about the strategy, how you get organized, the technology itself, how you package the software, develop the scenario, the questionnaire, then possibly some writing that has to be done, such as the campaign page itself, possibly documentation and tutorials, finally, well, it's engaging with the beta testers, so promoting the campaign and engaging with them. And finally, doing some reporting on the results of the campaign. So this methodology is available fully on the website. And alongside with the methodology, we've prepared all the building blocks that you need to be able to run the campaign. So we'll go through them in a second. So the first one is the campaign manager page. Uh, so upon self-service registration on ReachOut, the campaign manager page allows the campaign manager, who's the person in charge of the campaign, to declare the project, edit the project description, and then manage the campaigns. Because for one project, you could have several such beta testing campaigns. So the campaign web page itself is a landing page for each campaign. It's a form that is based on a form that guides the campaign manager uh, to describe all the necessary information, including the beta testing campaign description, the dates, the requirements that beta testers have for participating. So that could be technical requirements in terms of software installed, or it could be knowledge of a particular business domain. Importantly, and that's the focus of today, the scenario has to be described. And also you can add there various download or documentation links if you want to. And then if you have incentives that you can provide as such from your project, you describe them here. Otherwise, and I'll get back to that later, ReachOut provides also incentives for beta testers. So when each campaign is created, we also create alongside a mailing list, which can be used to interact with the beta testers. So if the beta testers have questions, they can reach you through this mailing list. And this is based on the simple mailing list manager. We also have a tool which we call the monitoring dashboard. So it's a 24 checkpoint self-evaluation sheet, which can help you visually to synthesize where you're up to. So think of it as a checklist, really. And it's divided in 3 sections about the management, so the initial steps when you decide to create the campaign, then the actual preparation phase, so the back office work, if you like, and then the execution phase during the campaign execution. So it's an optional tool that we offer to projects to follow the progress of their beta testing campaign. The questionnaire itself. So when you as a project declare a beta testing campaign, then we generate automatically an initial questionnaire based on a template of 34 questions. I'll show you where it is on the website. And all of these questions are entirely customizable. You can reword them, you can add your own questions, you can delete the questions when you don't like to. So these 34 questions are the results of some research we did, and they're a balanced mix of open and closed questions, so that we're trying to maximize the feedback that the beta testers will send to you. Technically speaking, when a beta tester fills in the questionnaire, then and submits the questionnaire to the platform, then an email is sent to the campaign manager. And at any time, the campaign manager has access to a responses dashboard where they can view statistics about the dashboard, the answers, which can be used, for example, in a report, or they can export the responses in a variety of format. The questionnaire itself and the platform supporting it is based on Lime Survey. So there's a number of other templates and tools that we provide, including checklists and examples for the documentation, some recommendation for software packaging, including a tool if you haven't packaged your software and you want to package it in form of a virtual machine, for example. We have the ReachOut factory. We also have a communication package with sample emails that you could use to promote the campaign and recruit the beta testers. Of course, we also provide fine prints in terms of GDPR notice and consent, which you can rely on. And finally, for the reporting, we're here to help you if you need any help to produce such a report of analysis of the results. So a typical timeline for running a beta testing campaign, depending on how ready you are already. So you could count for 1 to 2 months for preparation, so defining the goals, preparing the software, the scenario, the documentation, and start engaging with the beta testers. Then you could run the campaign typically for 1 to 2 months. So that would be following up the recruitment of beta testers, possibly some other workshop or webinars to advertise the campaign. And once the beta testers have produced their reports at the end, then you can take some time to complete the results and produce a report. So a few words about how you recruit beta testers. So typically, what we like to say to projects is that projects are the best ones to know their potential beta testers. So that could be colleagues, direct colleagues. It could be other staff from the partners of that project. It could be students from universities, which can be reached through the professors and academic partners of the project. So that's the main source of beta testers from our experience. But also by using ReachOut, you become part of the ReachOut ecosystem, and there's a kind of moral agreement that if you've so previous projects who have benefited from ReachOut will be ready to play the game and become beta testers themselves for future other projects. Also, with ReachOut, we have a newsletter which we send out regularly, and also we've got a Twitter account and a LinkedIn account, as well as promotion material, which could attract potential beta testers. Second way to attract beta testers is incentives. So you could, in the incentives, if you have any, provide some goodies or rewards. But ReachOut itself has got two possibilities for that. The first one is the Hall of Fame. So when a beta tester has answered the questionnaire, and if the beta tester has provided the email address, then we contact the beta tester and ask permission if they'd like to appear on the Hall of Fame. They usually do and are quite happy about it. We have a ReachOut end of project prize, which will be drawn. So it's a lottery prize where we will draw from the beta testers who have provided an answer, and that will be drawn in January 2022. And also for each campaign, that's due to COVID reasons, because we couldn't spend our own travel budget. So some of that budget got turned into monetary rewards, and each campaign can benefit from monetary rewards for the beta testers. So again, that's ReachOut money, so you don't have to spend anything there as a campaign manager. And we award up to 24 rewards of 30 euros for simpler campaigns, say campaigns where we estimate that the time beta testers would spend would be roughly under an hour. Then 60 euros distributed to 12 beta testers if the campaign requires around 2 hours of work. And for longer testing campaigns, it would be 90 euros distributed to if the maths are right, 8 beta testers. So if there are more replies, of course, then we will draw them so that it's fair. What we consider as a valid answer to a questionnaire would be a questionnaire with, so first of all, fully completed, and where the open questions would be would have answers provided. A last promotion action that we're doing with ReachOut is the test fest. So this is our second test fest here, where the beta testers benefit from regular incentives, so the Hall of Fame and the monetary rewards. And in addition, there will be an award which is given to the beta tester with the most active participation and several campaigns carried out, and the highest number of completed feedback questionnaires and useful suggestions to the project designers. So a few words about ReachOut so far. So we've had some 33 beta testing campaigns on the platform with about 350 fully answered questionnaires. So that's not counting the questionnaires that are partially answered, which we also get the data from. But sometimes the beta tester, while answering the questionnaire, stops. So we're not counting those. We've run about 50 webinars, either public ones like this one or webinars to project who were interested in using ReachOut. And we've also presented ReachOut as a platform to 17 workshops and or conferences. So with COVID, mostly virtual, but some physical as well. What we've been able to identify is that attributes of a successful campaign are a well-defined, simple to execute scenario. So that's the importance and the subject of today, that you have to, well, you're maximizing your chance of getting replies and answers if you have a well-defined, simple to execute scenario. Also, what we found is that those projects who had a good ecosystem of potential testers and made the effort of advertising the campaign to this ecosystem were most successful at getting beta testers. So again, you're the ones who best know who are your users, and you should not hesitate and you should try to contact them and encourage them to answer the questionnaire and perform the test. So basically, the more communication you do, I mean, we do our share, but the more communication you do on your share, the the better it will be in terms of getting a lot of beta testers and feedback. So some of you might be wondering what happens when ReachOut finishes on the 31st of December. So ReachOut continues, so it's part of our continuation plan. It will become a service available to OW2 members. So the ReachOut methodology will be there, the tools and template support, and also there will be promotion of your campaigns in the monthly OW2 newsletter. So you can find some more information about how to become an OW2 member on ow2.org. So typically for future collaborative projects who would like to use the ReachOut services, the best way would be that one of the members of the project becomes an OW2 member. So again, ReachOut's open at the moment to any funded European project or open source project or SME. And I will now take you through a short demonstration of the platform itself. So on the website, you can find a number of resources, including what I said, the ReachOut methodology. So the ReachOut methodology is available here. So it's a superset. So the slides here are a superset of what I've just presented. Sorry, yes. So it looks into more details about the tools, the methods, and the processes. And there's a whole document as well that supports the methodology, which you can which which you can rely on if you want to learn more detail. So beyond the methodology and the self-service platform, we're here to support you again. So I'd like to insist on this. So when you register as a campaign manager, we'll typically arrange a presentation with you and discuss about your timeline. And that's about it. So let's now assume that you're ready to launch a beta testing campaign. So in this demonstration, we'll assume that you're ReachOut as a project and you want to create a beta testing campaign about testing ReachOut itself. So what you do is on this page, you're a project leader, so you click on this and you would like to register as a campaign manager to be able to run your ReachOut campaign. So my name is, let's say I'm ReachOut team, and my email for today will be the ReachOut webinar. So here I'm based in France, and I create my username. So let's say it's ReachOut web October 21. I enter a password here. I have read the informed consent and I can register. So upon registration, I will receive an email to finalize my self-registration. So if I go to my mailbox here, ReachOut webinar 18, it says to follow an activation link. So I just click on this link here, and this activates my account. So now I can uh, I can log in again with the previously entered password, and this takes me this takes me to my homepage. So we've tried to make things easy for you. So the first thing says is that you have to create a project. So as I said, the project is about testing ReachOut. So let's just call it 2021 October ReachOut webinar. And when I create a project, I have to enter some information, which will be then visible the to the beta testers. I choose a logo here. So typically the ReachOut logo, and I add a short description and a long description. So what's ReachOut about? It's about beta testing campaign, and a longer description. So typically you could get that from your existing project here. So once I save the project, what happens is I have created the project, so I can edit it at any time. And the thing I need to do is to create a new campaign here. So in order to create a campaign, what I need to do is to select what type of project this is. So we currently offer 4 different, slightly different variations. So there's 3 variations on the 34 questions, which I mentioned about. So by the way, I'll come back to that later. So one more if it's a SaaS service, because then you don't have to download the software and install it. You just have to connect to it. One where it's a mobile application, so the wording of questions will be about installing an app, and another one which is a classical software project. For historical reasons, we also have a questionnaire which we've developed together with the Internet of Food and Farms 2020 project, with questions related to agriculture and food. So as I said, again, all the questions are completely customizable. So if you want to if you want to adapt the questionnaire, you can do so later on. So let's just say, because ReachOut is a SaaS service, let's just say it's a SaaS service, and I will create the campaign with the name testing the ReachOut platform. And when we create the campaign, we get to the campaign form I was mentioning about. So when do we want the campaign to run from and to? Let's just say we run it from today until the end of the year, for example. We give an estimation of how much time the beta tester is expecting to spend. So that's interesting for the beta tester to know. Then we can choose a reward. So at the moment, we'll just say 0 because this is just a test. This can be changed at any time as well. Then what you have to do is explain to the beta tester what the campaign objectives are. So that's the campaign objective from your point of view as a project. So here I'm saying the goal of this campaign is to test the ReachOut platform itself. It targets X2020 projects, etc., and so on. And you can put some links using this syntax here. Then, importantly, you have to tell the potential beta testers what the expected profile is for those. So here, in our case, it could be business users or developers with any levels good. So for some more technical software, or you could restrict it to advanced developers, for example. The next bit, as I said, is to provide the beta tester with a list of requirements. So what you need to have on hand before you start doing the test, and then you provide a comprehensive list of instructions. So this is what the scenario is all about. And finally, you can provide the incentives. So typically the incentives, this is where if you had goodies, for example, to distribute, you could put it here, or prizes, for example. So let's focus a little bit on the questionnaire. So what we've seen, especially at the beginning, or for some people with whom we haven't interacted first, is that they don't really give a scenario. They just give the link to the platform and ask beta testers to play with it and then provide feedback. This could be valid for simple end user services, and even that. However, it's important that you provide the beta testers with a scenario for several reasons. First of all, it will make it easier for the beta testers to start using the software, navigate through all the parts, and also by showing them a scenario, you will be sure, which parts of the software they've used during the test, and you will guide the beta testers to use those parts, and this way you'll be able to tune and ask them the relevant questions relative to those parts or components of your platform. So in case the software requires some input data, which is sometimes the case, also it can be interesting to propose sample data sets as part of the scenario. And otherwise, you should precisely describe what the format of such data is. So you can also provide additional steps. So in other words, you could provide a minimum scenario and optional extra tests, that the extra steps that the beta tester could execute to go beyond the scenario or to test their own data sets, for example. So this, as I said, the scenario goes hand in hand with the questions you will ask in the questionnaire. And as I already said, the questionnaire you can tune and you can modify as well. So that's it. So once you're ready with the description, you can save the campaign. At the moment, the campaign is not active. It will remain in a draft mode until you specifically activate it. When we create the campaign, we also create behind the scene a mailing list. So at the moment, this campaign is not published. It's circled in red. It doesn't appear on the homepage of ReachOut, and you can still edit it at any time. So this is a preview of what the beta testers will see with the instructions, etc. It shows also the link to the mailing list, which will be used to interact with the beta testers in the future. So at any time you can edit the campaign details, and the next thing to do is to actually go and look at the questionnaire. So if I click on this button, oh, before I do that, there's the campaign dashboard, which I mentioned earlier, is available through this link here. So if I click on my campaign dashboard, I will see at the moment that everything is at 0%. So I can edit the dashboard. We've tried to make it as simple as possible. So say, is my goal clear? Yes, my scope is well documented. Have I got the partner information completed? So have I presented my campaign to all the partners, etc.? So in my case, it's yes. Have I got a campaign manager, support contact points? Have I got internal beta testers? So it's important that you also test your own campaign before you release it outside. Do I know who the beta testers, potential beta testers are, and have I got incentives? So you get the idea of here. Have I defined my scenario? Did I package it? Is the link operational? So then you check. Have I tested the scenario? Have I got documentation? Did I develop a questionnaire? So at the moment I haven't. Are the fine prints ready? Yes, in my case. And is my communication package complete? Well, not really, because I haven't tuned the email so far. So let's just save this dashboard. And if you save the dashboard, you'll be able to see that I'm quite good at the preparation phase, and then I'm up to the next step will be more about execution. So if I go back to the campaign now, as I said, it's all in draft mode at the moment, and we can take a look at the questionnaire. So I log in again here with my credentials, and I'm taken to the questionnaire as it was generated generically. So there's a number of questions here. So if I'm here, the first question is, did you manage to set up and access the software? At any time, you can preview either the entire survey or a particular question. So we have divided the questions in sections. First section about setting up, section about functional feedback, user experience, about next step using the platform, a summary, and some information about the beta tester themselves. So the functional feedback question, the one that's not that has to be customized, is this one. So if I preview this question, it says, were you able to execute function X, function Y, function Z? So of course I have to customize it. So I can say, were you able to, so just as an example, register with ReachOut? Were you able to declare your campaign, and were you able to tune the questionnaire. So that's just example. So this corresponds typically to the steps that you would have described in the scenario for the user. So then you save and close, and once you're happy revising all the questions and playing with previewing the survey itself or each of the questions, then you can activate the questionnaire. So you just activate the survey here. You choose to keep the timestamp and you save and activate. So I will not do it because then the campaign goes live, and that's it. So then after all this, the campaign will become active, and users, external users, will be able to view the campaign on the ReachOut platform, just as the number of campaigns that we have here today. So if I look at campaigns, we've got a number of campaigns here. So this one I see because I'm logged in and it's private and I can edit it, but it's not publicly available. So this is what it would typically look like. But at the moment it's not active. So it's like a preview. And the save, let's just open another one that we have current at the moment. So this is typically what the beta testers will see. So there's a reward with some incentives and the description. So for this project, they've decided to have the scenario described outside in their demonstrator. So that's one possibility that you can use. If I look at this one here, the scenario is described here in much detail about step one, setting up, step two, creating the models, etc., and so on. So this is how we encourage you to look at existing campaigns. There's several possibilities here to make sure that you provide the right level of information to your beta testers. Just to wrap up, in terms of the ReachOut tools and templates I was mentioning, so you'll find all the information here. And regarding the customizable questionnaire, we show you here so that you can work offline all the questions that we currently provide to beta testers. And if you want to take it offline with the other partners to see which ones of the questions are valid and interesting for you, and then before you go back to Lime Survey and customize the questionnaire, that's a way to do it. And also the Hall of Fame. So the Hall of Fame I was mentioning you about is where we gather the identity of various beta testers who've provided their email address and accepted to be on the Hall of Fame and are quite happy to be recognized. Some of them want to keep their privacy, which is, of course, their right. So that's about it for today. So don't hesitate to get started and declare your project and create your first beta testing campaign. As I said, we're here to help you, so you can contact us at any time if you want. If you would like to get some information about the project, so we've got a support mailing list which you can reach, which you can use, and otherwise anytime we see a new registration as a campaign manager, we do contact them to ask whether they need assistance. And again, until the end of this year, the support we provide is free and part of our job for ReachOut. And starting next year, it will become a service made available to OW2 project. So thanks very much for your attention,